Hi, fam. Welcome to Sem Diary. Let's dive right into today's story. I'm 30 years old and married. For a long time, I felt like I was living in a house with a stranger. My husband's name is Aziz. Initially, our love felt like a fairy tale. He was incredibly sweet and called me
my queen
every morning. Anytime I'm preparing breakfast, he would sneak up and hug me from behind. Before we went to sleep, he would always kiss my forehead. I felt safe and loved. However, after our beautiful baby was born, the walls began to close in. At first, I made excuses for him. I told myself, maybe he's just tired. We have a newborn baby. There are so many bills to pay. Life is just hard right now. But as the month passed, the distance between us grew like a dark cloud. He stopped touching me. It wasn't just about romance. It was the small things. He would jump back if I reached out to hold his hand while we watched TV. He would find a reason to get up and leave the room. I began to break inside. Every morning, I looked in the mirror and cried. I hated what I saw. My stomach was soft and big from the pregnancy, and my eyes had dark circles from the stress. I told myself, maybe he's ashamed of me. He thinks I'm ugly now. One evening, I decided to try one last time. I wore my favorite dress, styled my hair perfectly, and applied the perfume he used to adore. Stepping into the living room, I hoped for a spark in his eyes. Aziz glanced at me for a flirting moment. His voice flat.
"You look beautiful,"
he said. However, his eyes were empty, devoid of love, and filled with something close to fear. That night, I sat on the cold bathroom floor, tears silently streaming down my face. I covered my mouth to prevent the baby from waking up. I felt utterly alone. Desperation gripped me, and I began checking his phone while he slept. I anticipated finding another woman, expecting flirty messages or photos, but there was nothing, no cheating, no secret life. So, why was he treating me like a stranger? The answer came in the most shocking way. One Saturday afternoon, Aziz's old friend visited. They had some drinks. He had been drinking and was barely standing. Laughter echoed through the room as he spoke so loudly. Aziz appeared nervous, constantly trying to push his friend towards the door. Suddenly, the friend turned to Aziz and shouted, "Aziz,
stop pretending! Tell her the truth!"
"Aziz, what is he talking about?"
I sat at Ryan's explain.
Explain.
Tell us her!
My heart stopped for a second, and the room fell silent. Aziz's face turned pale, and he looked terrified. "Shut up! Get out of my house!" he shouted. But the friend persisted, looking at me and saying, "He won't touch you because..."
He's scared he's going to infect you.
I froze, the world spinning around me. Aziz began shaking, sinking into a chair and covering his face with his hands. Tears streamed down his face. That day, the secret finally came out. Aziz confessed that 2 years after our wedding, he had made a grave mistake.
I made a mistake. It was just once one night stand. I got so bad that I thought I was dirty. Every time I tried to touch you, I heard a voice telling me I would destroy you. I didn't want to ruin your life, Sarah.
It wasn't HIV, but it required medication. He finished his treatment though, but the guilt lingered. He confessed, "Sarah, I feel dirty and like a bad person. Every time I want to hug you, a voice screams, 'I'm poisonous.' I was scared the infection was still there and didn't want to infect you. I feared loving you too much would ruin your life." I was overwhelmed with emotions, angry at his years of secrecy, sadness for his silent suffering, and pain for years of believing I wasn't good enough. The worst was Aziz's refusal to return for follow-up tests, assuming he was still dirty. He chose fear over honesty, living in a prison of his own making. I took his trembling hands and said, We are going to the doctor together right now. He cried harder, whispering, if I test and it's bad, you will leave me. I met his eyes and said, if you keep hiding, you will lose me anyways. The truth is the only way back. We waited in the clinic for what felt like eternity. When the doctor finally called us in, everything changed. He was 100% clean. He had been punishing himself and me for years for nothing. He had wasted years of hugs, kisses, and happiness because of his shame. That night, for the first time in ages, he held my hand and didn't let go. He cried like a child on my shoulder, begging for forgiveness. Silence is a silent killer of love. If you are carrying a secret, just speak out. If you are drowning in shame, ask for help. Don't let fear build a wall between you and those who love you. Hiding the truth doesn't protect your marriage. It slowly turns your home into a graveyard of what ifs. Don't wait until you've wasted years. Speak the truth today. Wow, what do you think about this story? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed today's story, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out anytime I post interesting stories like this right here on Sem Diary. Also check out my other video. My husband died in an accident, but my lover's confession changed everything. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.